This is the Shawn Yankey Show.
And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack.
This episode of the Shawn Yankey Show is being brought to you by the support of viewers like me. We realize the importance of independent media and truth in this time of mass deceit and propaganda. We have decided to fight for and support it to keep it alive. You can help us in this fight for truth. Contribute at patreon.com/Shawn Yankey. Thanks for coming to the show. It'll begin soon.
Hey everybody, get in here. It is time again for the Shawn Yankey Show. I am Shawn and this is the Shawn Yankey Show. So you are in the right place at the right time, no matter where you're at or when you're watching or listening to us. Thanks for coming, and make sure to hit like and share this out. We are just a little independent show, completely dependent on you, the viewers, to get this out. And we're incredibly throttled and suppressed. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit. So anything you can do to help, that'd be great. Really appreciate it. But hitting that like button really does help us. A lot of people forget. Go ahead and smash it while you're thinking about it. Let me say hi to everybody who's here. This is a discussion-driven live chat show. We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and VK. We're trying out VK. This is our first week over there. It's actually going all right. Got to work some kinks out. If you're here on VK, right now your comments aren't pulling into the live stream. I'm trying to fix that. But if you're commenting, that's why I won't be able to see them. But I will check in after. And so please still comment, take part, because that helps. And I'll check in with you and see what you guys are talking about too. But let's see. Helen's here. Hey, Helen, Lolly, Dolores. Hey, Riley, Samuel, Shawn, how are you? Riz, Nora. All right. Good group already here. We're already getting in. Remember to share it out. Get this out. Invite your friends. Have them come in tonight. We're going to do rants. We're going to rant. I've got some stuff that I set aside to complain about. Some things on my mind. Get off my chest. And anything that you're upset about, please tell me in the comments. And we'll get into that too. We'll have a whole discussion. Anything you want. That's what we always do. But just in a little bit, we'll start. And I'll get us started. That's just to get us going. Like I said, we're going to go with the comments and have a discussion. That's what we do here. But tonight's rants, tomorrow night, Gerard Kinyet Hay is coming back to the show. And I'm very excited to talk to him. He's been doing a lot of really interesting things. And already he's a very interesting guy. So it's going to be a great show. Make sure to come for that. Hey, Joan, how are you? Sandy, good to see some more people coming in. My shirt looks nervous. I chose this shirt for a reason. I'm nervous. I'm nervous tonight, I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to say that, but I don't ever really hide much from you anyway, so why not just be forthright about it? I've been nervous a lot lately before it's time to go on. Tonight, real bad, though. And maybe the rant will help explain why. I don't know. I don't know that I fully understand it, but we'll get into a lot of that and more tonight. Hey, Aaron, how you doing, man? I've missed you. I know you've been working out of town. How's that going? Getting them diamond hands. You know, you work too much. You and Paul. You need to take it easy. Hey, Nicole. All right. So let's just go ahead and begin here in a minute, because it's too much on my mind. I think I need to get it out and clear my head. I know I do. And like I said, anything that's bothering you, let me know, and we'll get into that as well. But tonight is rant night, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Yankey Rants. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about and get off my chest right away. But anything you want to get into, please let me know, and we'll talk about all that too. I'm sure a lot is bothering you. There's so much messed up and a lot to get into. The big thing on my mind, and because I deal with it constantly, but it should really concern everyone, is the censorship that's going on today. I deal with it constantly as someone that's trying to create a show and get it out to viewers and have it grow and trying to build something. I deal with it daily. But we all deal with it in some way, shape, or form, or will. The reason it's so heavily on my mind is last night we did a show. We do a show every night. I put a lot of work into this show. Before the intro, I was telling you that I was nervous today. And I've been nervous a lot lately before we go live for multiple reasons. It's really hard to explain it, but I'm going to do my best. So last night, we were doing a show. It was conspiracy theory night. We were talking about science itself, just what science has become, the bastardization of it that we find ourselves in now, and how real science is silenced and suppressed, eliminated. That's it. That's what we were talking about. I played a video, my own video, on the Jasons, which is a secret society of scientists. Some of the most elite and highest in power in the United States are part of this secret society. That's the video we watched. Completely original video, nothing in it, not even a video clip. Nothing that could be anyone else's content. It was all mine. And then me talking with you. We got a copyright strike. This is something Facebook does quite often, actually. They'll give you a copyright strike. They have multiple kinds. A lot of times they'll copyright strike me, and all it does is it doesn't kill the live viewing. People can still stay and watch the live show, but afterwards, the show itself will be a dead link. So the video is just dead. No one else is going to see it. Then there's also the big one, the copyright strike that we got last night. This is the one that kicks all the live viewers. It kicks everybody out of the feed and doesn't stop it. I'm still live, but only admins of the page can still view it. Then the video is also dead. It's blocked and banned everywhere. No one will view it from that point on. I think we got blocked at about the 36-minute mark. Maybe a little earlier, but our comments kind of stopped there. These all get overturned, by the way. I appeal them all, and every time they get overturned, usually in mass, like lumps. They'll just, like 10 videos will get copyright strikes removed. You know, oops, our fault. That didn't belong to UMG, or oops, our fault. That didn't belong to CD Baby. That was one of them. Last night was an infographic company. The one before that was Hawk for Third Party, a political organization who Lolly found out does a lot of that shit because, you know, apparently anybody can claim a copyright strike. Interestingly enough, with nothing really to back it up, and it'll shut down your video. But this is what Facebook does. YouTube does similar things. They do their own stuff. They all do things, though, to silence and suppress stuff. What I'm saying is it's very frustrating, the amount of work and effort I put into every show. I don't ever want to get on here and just bullshit with you guys. I'm trying to give you a professional quality show something that has work and effort put into it and that everybody can enjoy. And I do my best to do that. I'm not saying it's always perfect, but a lot of work goes into it. It's devastating every time that it goes really well. We have a great conversation, a great back and forth. Everything's firing, as far as creating the show, what I'm aiming to do. All of the work I put in is paying off. The topics coming together. We're having a great discussion. This is awesome. And then they'll hit it, and no one's going to see any of that. Now, it still exists. That feed in particular last night is still on VK. It's still on YouTube. I uploaded it as a podcast. I still have a hard copy of it. It's just our biggest platform happens to be Facebook. So I make this stuff so it can be seen. A show needs an audience. They'll steal it from me all the time. Doesn't matter what we're talking about. We had our event. We had a private event. You had to buy a ticket to be there. No one was there that didn't want to be there. We got banned at that one. And everyone was refunded that bought a ticket. I'm not allowed to have private events anymore. Well, now we're allowed again. But anyways, they blocked and banned that one during a Mandela effect video. It doesn't matter. I baby talk. We try to be careful. I watch my mouth. I think I've improved a great deal, actually. The F word used to be one of the largest parts of my vocabulary. I've almost completely eliminated it. As far as live streams go, I still use it a lot in my regular life. But an immense amount of effort has been put into trying to jump through hoops. But it doesn't really seem to matter what you're talking about. It's very frustrating. But at the same time, I love doing it. And I think a lot of you really love what we've built here and enjoy it. We've built a very good thing here, I think. And I'm okay if it's for a key, select, pinpointed audience. Lee often says quality, not quantity. Shouldn't matter how many people are here. It's the quality of the people here. And I agree with that. But at the same time, I want it to be successful. Do you see where I'm torn? And then I was talking to Babels the other night, and no one trying to do anything real ever and really tell humanity what's true and what really has value and meaning has ever succeeded. If you really think about it, the ones that did almost succeed or reached a level of fame were eliminated. So, I don't know. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. The censorship is crippling. And right now, currently, the hot topic is the medical misinformation. They don't want you giving any medical information because, God forbid, you let me influence you. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm open with that. There's a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. It's my opinion, anything I say to you. And I think everybody understands that. They don't want any discussion against their narrative. That's where they want us to ultimately be. But right now, you're not allowed to talk about this medical stuff, And you know exactly what I'm talking about. We just got a big strike on YouTube for that. Again, why? Why? Because circling back to the limited reach of this show, we're not even reaching that many people. Our best night, maybe 500 views total. How dangerous is that if your science is sound, if your information is correct, if you're not lying to the general public? Why would you not want anyone to be able to speak against you? Why would you care? Doesn't make any sense. But it does when you understand that it is all complete bullshit. And that makes it even more frustrating that they're silencing you. But why doesn't it make people angry? makes me angry. Why aren't enough people angry? Again, I think it's because they're not following it out to its logical conclusion. They're going to silence us all. You may not be unhappy yet, but when you are, there'll be no one to hear you complain. You won't be able to. So, I'm nervous anymore. I'm nervous that when I look at the comments, they will have stopped halfway through the show. I'm nervous that they'll pull the video. I'm nervous. All these other things. And I'm going to figure out a way out of it. And a way to make it work. It's just frustrating the things we're up against that don't need to be there. These obstacles that we've allowed and let keep stopping us. When we don't have to allow it, that's the other frustrating thing. But the censorship is, if they were taking guns away, the way they're taking your speech, I think America would finally be up in arms. Maybe. Shit, at least we get angry about that. They're eliminating entire topics that you're not allowed to speak about in very vague language. At the same time, trying to label anyone dissenting against the information being delivered in the narrative a domestic terrorist. Meanwhile, Twitter, for example, silenced an American president, but right now is going to allow the Taliban free speech. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We don't have to let them do this shit. And that's what they don't ever want us to know. It's insane what's going on in the world right now. Crazy. Just any of it. Most of the things you're not allowed to talk about, like the situation with the American president right now. The vice president is the one that signed this whole shit that's going down in Afghanistan into action. He didn't even do that. He's not doing anything. He's not the president even, and he didn't win the election. You're not supposed to talk about any of that. And the real president's not even allowed to talk. Then factor in all the medical stuff you're not allowed to talk about that's going on, the insanity around that, and what they're doing with it globally more than just here. Because I feel a lot of that shit will reach us. I was watching a video in France, people being kept out of a grocery store because they wouldn't show a health pass. And at the same time, people are telling you, don't talk about that. Tired of hearing it. Well, isn't that how this shit happens? How it advances? People wanting to look away, not wanting to be bothered with it, not wanting to own it, when that would be the only thing you could change anything by doing, is by owning it. We have to stop this. I don't even know how to rant about it anymore. Like, we were talking, me and Ty, last time he was on, about comedy being hard now. Satire being difficult. You know, there are pages, sometimes Paul was saying it, from like the Babylon Bee, that you have to double take. Is that a real headline or a joke? You can't even fucking tell anymore. No, it's weird. Shawn says they can call him a terrorist. He doesn't mind as long as he ain't called late for dinner. Well, we're gonna need to mind. Trudy says, don't be nervous. Keep speaking your truth. People need to hear the truth, personally or educational. The show is amazing, and that because of you, the Shawn Yankey Show. And hi to the peeps. Hello to you, Trudy. Thanks for stopping by. I don't think I ever really get the point across I'm trying to make when I talk about how defeating what they do to us is. The censorship, how much it weighs on me. I'm not putting the show down, you know. I actually feel that we have a very high quality show here, and I really like everything we've built, and we did build it together as a community, and I like the community vibe of it as well. I love everything about it. Just makes me sick that they suppress it, you know. I mourn its possibilities that I see in it, in a world where something like this would be allowed to rise to the top. Sandy said, we appreciate you so much. Thank you, Shawn. I don't always agree, but I'm still coming back because your show rocks. Thank you for saying that. It's very nice. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that ability, what Sandy just said. She doesn't always agree. We've had disagreements. That's fine. We are able to have an intelligent conversation and an exchange of ideas where we don't have to agree with each other all the time, and we may learn something from each other. Hey, Gwendolyn, it's been a while. Thank you for stopping. I'm glad to see a lot of faces tonight. Alice, how are you? Hey, we've been on YouTube. We had to start another channel. They banned this one. Modus, Me on Things and Stuff is where we're at on YouTube right now. They banned this a long time ago and then let me have it back. But after that, we had already moved. So, and then they shut that channel down and wiped it. And then we started a backup channel, and that's where we regularly stream from. No one's found us yet. We only have 42 subs, but I think that's why we haven't been banned for so long. But we just got hit with our first big strike and on a 7-day YouTube jail, so we're back on our old channel. That's why you're finding us, Alice. We've been here all along, the whole time. And all those episodes are up on the Shawn Yankey Show TSYS 2 on YouTube, where we originally are usually at. And we'll be back in a week. Hey, Tracy. A lot of people came in while I was running my mouth. I don't know that made any sense. It was on my mind. And then, like, sometimes I'll, because I gauge it, the only way I have to gauge it off statistics, which Babos keeps trying to tell me are manipulated, but because I gauge it off of that, it gets messed up in my head sometimes, and I start feeling like, well, why am I doing all this? It's a lot. What am I doing it for? And it starts to feel silly. Like, let me make that make sense. For instance, before the show, when I was getting ready to go on, Babos was walking down the hallway. She's been having a lot of problems with pain. And that's a whole nother Pandora's box of frustrations to open up of our dealings with that whole ordeal. But she's having a lot of trouble walking, and she was trying to get to the bathroom, and I was watching her as I was coming back with my drink. And I was like, what I'm doing right now is so small, it seems sometimes. Like, but it also is so important. I don't know if that made sense. A lot of these are deep-seated issues. I feel like we should do some news now, Trudy. But it's insane. Hey, Craig. All right, I feel like I beat a dead horse long enough. That was the big thing on my mind. Our medical system being disgusting is the other big thing on my mind. Sandy said that she had to stop reading 1984 because she couldn't stop crying. I will go back, but I had to take a break from it because of the similarities to today's world. People don't really see it because it's kind of a marriage between a few different dystopian visions of the future. And these were just people who were interconnected. Orwell, he was in a big club that we're not in. They like their pets. They have pet celebrities. And Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, also in the club. He had inside information. And they would write back and forth with each other, wondering who was going to get it right, the way all this was going to play out. I think they were both right. Hey, Lefty. No, man, we didn't go anywhere. Like I said, we got banned and blocked on YouTube. I think it was, for whatever reason, they took away streaming on this channel a long time ago. This was actually the one we built up the most. This one has over 1,000 subscribers. And they blocked it, and I had to move. That's what happened. I tried to tell you guys. Lori says, because you're good. Facebook gives platforms to dark, soulless, godless energy. That is what's left at this point. Just my opinion from my experiences. And I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right. I see a lot of stuff rising up. People doing nothing like what we do. I've never seen what we do being done. But doing other things on their own and being successful with it. To levels that really don't make any sense. But when you watch what they're doing, she's right. At least in my experiences as well. I'm sure there are exceptions. Trudy said, you need to slow down. You look drained. Be kind to yourself. Remember what you teach us. I'm busy today. I'm actually looking like I have a lot on my mind because I have a lot on my mind. I had some shenanigans pulled on me at work. That was upsetting. I'll figure out a way to talk about that in a way that won't finish getting me fired because I'm like on the fence of that. That's weighing on my mind. What's going on with Babels and the medical shit is weighing on my mind. And this ceiling that we seem to have hit as far as getting the show out. Gwendolyn says BitChute, and Ty was talking about BitChute too, but do they have streaming? What we do is live. I can see the value in uploading it to other places. But for instance, an example, the podcast. It does okay, but each episode probably gets 3 to 5 listens. And maybe I should try uploading full shows to BitChute, or would you suggest clips, like just chunks of it? Well, you would have had to get there early, Nora, like we were talking about. We got blocked last night, the big copyright strike on Facebook where they shut your whole stream down. Sandy says, we know the medical system is fucked up. We are poor because of it. We are slaves to insurance companies. You have to have insurance on your car, your house, your health, and we insurance the poor. It will take everything from you if you don't have it. We're not living in a wage system that supports us as families for food, clothing, mortgage. We all have empty pocket syndrome, and they've got you by the balls. That was very well said. That's very true. And look, I have all those other insurances that you listed off, Sandy. So it's not like I'm completely uninsured, just the health insurance part. And that came up at work today. One of the bigger bosses actually had said something about health insurance, and I said it was priced out of our reach. And they didn't seem to like that. But when I came back with math, just simple math of how much it is and what that would leave me to live on, we were kind of silent, but still seemed dissatisfied that I wasn't happy with my crumbs. They're like, yeah, live on ramen or something. Like, dude, we're offering it to you. That was the look in their face. Like, you ungrateful peasant. How dare you scoff at the scraps? I was reminded how little I mean to who I give so much of my time to again. But, It's true for a lot of us, most of us, really. They tend to see us as disposable. And then, we'll treat you that way because that's how they see you. Really, the only other thing on my mind is liars. I had someone lie about me recently, and it was shocking, really. It was the first time I met that side of this person, honestly. And I can't see them the same way now ever again. But I did get the opportunity to tell them to their face they were a liar. Feel good about that, but it didn't matter, my opinion on it. They were able to be successful in what they were doing because my side of the story didn't end up mattering. Trudy is on Australian. She can't believe our healthcare system. And most people around the world can't, because they don't know what that's like. We're the only one like it. This predatory health care system. The only one. And it's not necessary. They will tell you they can't afford it while they print money willy-nilly in any amount they want at this point. If that, Shawn. But that's at most a number. We're just a number. You're a statistic. They don't care about you. Hey, Marie. Aaron says that his work hasn't replied to an inquiry on mandates with his packet. Dragging feet makes me feel as though my rights aren't being appreciated or considered, and they're not. The corporate, not yet the franchise, I'm a franchise where I work, but the corporate stores, anyway, of the company I work for are now mandating it to their upper level employees and office employees. Will that roll down to restaurants? I don't know, but that'd be my last day. A lot of people are having to make that decision too. Look, this person outright lied about me. And you know what? It was unnecessary because they already had enough with what actually occurred. And I owned up to every bit of that. But the lie was outrageous and unnecessary. That's what pissed me off the most about it. You didn't even need to do it. I don't stand for that shit, man. You're lucky. You're blessed, man. I'm glad to hear that you're self-sufficient in that way and that you have been able to survive all of this bullshit. A lot of people who are self-employed were not able to. This has crippled a lot of people, and I think that's a big reason for it, is to make more people dependent on the system. Aaron says everyone has a scam. Ours is truth and love. Couldn't give it away. Tired of telling blind or argumentative people. That's why I'm no longer really going to focus on that group. I still want to be inclusive, but I want to more preach a unity message and speak to those that already are aware to take their roles as leaders. That's why I find it difficult, and I think I did it a couple times when I was trying to rant. It's okay to bitch and complain, but we have to take ownership of this. We can't do anything about it until we do. And Lee is right. He says that in America, we don't have a healthcare system. There's no money in it if you're healthy. Obama started Obamacare for a reason. Insurance scam written by insurance companies. Obamacare was never about helping poor people get health insurance. It's about helping the insurance companies, helping them tighten their hold. They even fined you for being poor. If you were not able to afford health insurance under Obamacare, you were fined on your taxes. A poverty tax. Marie says that she's concerned that they'll cut her SSI or Medicare unless she jabs. If that happens, hello, streets of Mexico. It's good you have a backup plan, but what she's talking about is a real fear. they're kicking these ideas around. And Riley the other day was saying, okay, well, everything looks nice out my window. Well, it does out mine too. It looks very normal. It doesn't out of a lot of people's, though. And again, the whole group is how we have to think, because they'll drag us down like an anchor. Trudy says, your website for the Shawn Yankey Show, what's needed? Let's try and tick one thing off to give you peace of mind on one thing on your list. Are you saying to stream from the website our ultimate goal? We have the website already. To be able to stream from it, to have the software to do that and run the show from the website is kind of pricey. It's not cheap. I would want to be able to do a whole year if I was going to do it, but we're pretty far from that level. That's kind of why I worry, because I'm like, we would need a lot more support to reach that level. But I feel like it lives on. You know, I'm trying to be okay with the fact that the podcast seems to be untouched so far. No problems there. So those live, you know, and they will live on and be heard. Like William Cooper, who I look up to a lot in this, he was murdered for what he was exposing. But his message lives on. I'm not the only one that still uploads hours of the time and makes sure that it lives on and people hear it. So I need to find other ways of gauging what's going on here. It's hard to know what those are. I haven't found them yet, but there's other ways of looking at it. I don't know the actual number, I would tell you, Sandy, but I used to know it. I've said it before. The number that keeps wanting to jump in my head is like, I'm not even going to say it because I have no idea. I'll look it up. It's been a while since we talked about that. Landlord? No. It's probably Babel's family, actually. The phone was left in here to break the fourth wall and totally destroy the illusion. This is actually also a bedroom. But the phone is in here, and, you know, a lot of people worried about her and calling her all the time. I mean, it's breaking news. That's what I used to say. It was breaking news. That's funnier. Trudy says that she's more concerned if you had to stop and couldn't get your message out. Your mental health matters. Lori asks, can't you do live either on Odyssey or Rumble? I don't know. And Telegram is pretty hot. I tried that, but it's just Messenger. I don't know what we would do there. Someone else was telling me about Telegram today, and I'm like, you know, I looked at that, and it's just Messenger, basically, an uncensored version of Messenger. And she's like, no, there's so much more to it, and I don't understand how that could be, but do they have streaming? And again, I don't want to spend all the show talking about this. I feel like I'm complaining. It often feels like complaining. That's not what I'm doing, and I don't want it to be that. Sandy said, Bloody Mary time. If I get obnoxious, that's why. It's been a hell of a day. I'll join you in something to take the edge off a little bit. This is a terp pen, and I've got Rollins in there. A little bit of concentrate. So I'll join you in that, and we'll see if we can switch gears. But you're right, it is. I can keep complaining. I just don't want to complain about personal things as much as possible. A lot of people like Telegram. I tried following Riley's. Riley has a jump in Telegram, and I just didn't understand it. That's it right there. If you want to follow her. Samuel says Telegram's the best for getting uncensored news. Right on. Maybe I'm just, you know, the old guy that can't figure out new things. I tried it. I did try it. But I did also give up on it. What is on y'all's mind? What do you want to talk about? Riz says, post the news before the news posts it. But here's my concern with it. Like, for instance, I followed Riley's. I couldn't keep up with shit. Nothing. All right. Now, again, I'm a pretty busy guy. But like anytime I would have a chance to pull it up, first off, I would have 1,000 notifications. And there's no way to go through it all. And then when I go into the little feeds, I'd be like, okay, there's like a bunch of stuff, but it's kind of random. Like there's nothing really to follow here. And that's why it didn't pull me in. It's very hard to follow along with. And you'd almost have to constantly be able to look at it like a news ticker in order to get anything of value out of it. I don't know how you come in chunks and just take some stuff. It's hard to find shit, or it was for me. Yes. I want to know what's bothering you. Trudy said, ask Ty. He's everywhere. I think they're going to go hell in a handbasket. Website is the goal. It is. It's the ultimate goal, the website. To stream from the website. Lee says this show isn't just putting on a live, it's interactive. Like I said before, I've never seen anybody doing what we do. But, you know, it's unpredictable at the same time because I never really know where it's going. Lori said personally she doesn't like watching live casts on her phone. And that's why I can't get into Telegram. And Marie says, bitch shoot. No one gets thrown off there. Everyone has a page over there. All right. I got a page. I put up like 2 or 3 videos. Not much interaction. But maybe I should focus on it more. Ooh, I want to hear about this. Craig has got some plans, and I don't think I should show any more of them on the screen, but they sound very interesting. Samuel says you have to mute alerts for each page and then go back later and scroll through each feed at your convenience. I don't know. Trudy says, let's do it. Website fundraiser. Not via this one, thanks. I couldn't get the last one, and I cried. Well, something to put in the back pocket, something to think about. They kind of shoot all the fundraisers in the foot. I'd have to get more creative. You know, it's the definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So Riley says she's got 400 now in Telegram, Ratchet Truth. Man, way to go. Good job. I don't know. I can't get with it. It's like one of them merry-go-rounds going too fast and I can't jump on it. I'm trying though. I'm learning new things. I'm just slow at it. The podcast thing I'm excited about. We're on Spotify, this show, and Google Podcasts, and all kinds of places. You can check it out. We're getting into more platforms. And like I said, I've got a BitChute. I just haven't learned it yet. Riley was in Facebook jail for about 8 months straight. She's got 50,000 profiles. That's how that happened. Aaron said he's getting bad reception. Sorry to hear that, brother. Man, I hope you're doing okay and making that big fat money out there on the road. And I hope he comes home soon. Jones said one of the universities is going to cut Wi-Fi to any student who isn't juiced up by September and charge them $100 per week. This shit ain't innocent. And it ain't okay. It's not okay. Again, if this was with guns, man, people would be outraged. Why is that? Don't make no sense. And what is going on in Afghanistan? Does anybody fully understand this? You know, I'm confused by a lot of things. I'm confused by the Taliban recruiting women now. You know, that party they threw was funny. I like how they're mocking Joe Biden. I like how they're calling him an illegitimate leader. It's clearly theater. It was clearly set up and orchestrated this way. But man, the media is going nuts with it. It's everywhere. I just have a few front pages up. RT, CNN, and Fox. And it's all they're talking about. You have to scroll before you get to anything else. And in RT, I had to scroll 3 times before I saw a juice post. That's unreal. Samuel says, I'm so sad that so many people are being forced to get this juice. Unless they get a placebo, they're going to be gone in 3 to 5 years. So many doctors trying to warn people who get completely censored. So much science eliminated. That's why you can't trust science anymore. It's what we were talking about last night. And I'm in the process of losing a friend, and I like this person. Because I have to keep pointing out their bullshit. It has to start to hurt to be stupid and spread stupidity and spread dangerous misinformation. And it's exactly what they're doing, and they're backing it up and feeling justified in it by saying they're supported by science. When what is called science today is in no way science at all. It's the opposite of. At best is scientism. It's become a religion. That's not what science is. Lori says it's impossible to know the truth. I don't even try to understand the news anymore. I'm just trying to brace myself spiritually, mentally, and physically for what's coming. The only reason why I try to understand it and get an idea what they're doing is I see it for what it is, a weapon, and they use it to brainwash the masses, confuse and hypnotize them. So I feel it's important to know your enemy and what they're using. And that's the only reason why I think it's important. But Afghanistan's part of the divide and conquer technique. We have to kill each other. They're going to get us to do it as much as they can on our own. She's right with this war agenda. It is to keep that war going and to continue that. It's the reason why they did it the way they did it. The website itself we already have. It's the streaming to it, and I don't know offhand. I don't remember. The number that wants to keep jumping in my head is 1,800. I don't remember if that's right for the year, but it wasn't cheap. That's what I remember. So many people are being forced to, though, and idiots are regurgitating it and calling it science. And it is nothing resembling such at all. Trudy says, Israel, all about Israel. We were talking about Israel the other day. I feel like there's massive deception going on there as well. Yes, Nora asked if any of us have ever been watched by older siblings. I've been watched by older siblings, and I've been the older sibling doing the watching. I was a latchkey kid. Anybody in here? Were any of you latchkey kids? You know, you wore your key, your house key around your neck. That was normal then. Craig says, sometimes you just wish that this would all just come to its end. And I think it's going to. It's going to be really ugly before it gets there. But I understand what you mean by that. I'm not going to say I don't. We're absolutely not. Absolutely not. Resources alone, there's no way they're going to leave that place. No fucking way. And that's the entire reason we were ever there. We were never there for why they told you we were there. At all. And all we've been doing is siphoning their resources, and not about to give that up. Marie says they pull out quick after they set it up for failure. It's by design. This is exactly how they meant to do it. And they're letting their incompetent, senile president take the fall for it as he stumbles to try to place blame somewhere else in an agenda that's been going on for decades. Did you see that picture? There's a picture from Vietnam where they were airlifting people out of embassies. Same thing going on in Afghanistan. Matter of fact, a lot of the U.S. citizens that are stuck there are not being protected or helped to get out. because they say that would increase the odds of them being held hostage. But taking in refugees, not helping American citizens. Lolly says the Taliban controls everything. Rumors we're having to get fuel from the Taliban to fly out our troops? Are you shitting me? The army that we supposed to have built up for them, the Afghanistan army, lasted, 11 days? I was as well, Marie. I raised my little brother and me, and it was because both my parents worked, but it was normal. From a young age, I did this. And before that, our older brother watched us, That's just what was done. In the time when we all rode around standing up in the back of station wagons and pickup trucks, and nobody gave a shit. Samuel says Arizona will be revoking their electoral vote shortly after that report comes out, sometime within the next few weeks, and it will not be long now. I hope so. Faith is important, and I do believe in that. It's good to hope for positive things, and I would love to see justice. Shawn says he knows English people stuck there and can't get to the airport in Afghanistan, and are in hiding. Nobody going in for them. Charity workers too. There are, I forget the statistic of how many, but a lot of American citizens stuck there, and they're not doing anything to help them. Hey, KT, how are you? Sandy says that she passed the federal government physical after a long illness, and they never asked if she'd been juiced. When was this, though? Lolly says China's offering Taliban financial backing for rebuilding infrastructure. Just a coincidence that you happen to need lithium for batteries, and they're very rich in lithium, among other things. And we left them billions of dollars worth of equipment as well. They're armed to the teeth now with our equipment that we just abandoned. KT says, oh, Ron's with you, isn't he? Hey, Ron, how are you guys? Good vibes save lives, and the power of love will save the world. You're right. We've been bitching tonight, though, Ron. You know it's Thursday, so we've been complaining pretty much wall to wall. Yesterday, this physical was, Sandy says. All right, you got a good doctor. Shawn said there must be tens of thousands of Americans there because we got stuck. Over 3,000 there, it said on the Tell Live Vision. The number I heard today, and I don't like to repeat numbers, was 11,000 U.S. citizens. I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm sure it's a lot. And gauging against your number, it sounds right. 84 billion, is that the number in the amount of equipment we just left in their hands? Yeah, you know what? Is that what it's for? So they put up a better fight when we go back in? And one more thing I want to remind you guys before I forget is to come back tomorrow night. We were talking earlier about being more self-sufficient, and Gerard is going to be interesting to talk to about that. He's building himself a whole new life trying to be more self-sufficient. So I'm excited to hear a lot about that. He's already a very interesting guy. Been on a couple times. And you may even watch his streams. He's a streamer. He does live streams himself. 24,000 India is reporting. Is that the number of U.S. citizens? Craig says, gotta go. Take care, everyone. Much love from Australia, man. Much love to you. Thank you for stopping by. Shawn says the Taliban are better off today than 20 years back. They've done nothing but strengthen them. They built them to begin with. They recruit for them every day. He says if they are Taliban, but they seem different to me. That's what I was talking about. A lot of this weird news, especially about recruiting women and different things. all kinds of guns, all kinds of equipment too. They have a ton of Black Hawk helicopters and all this stuff. Just left it for him. Key's probably still in it. Oh, really? Marie also supports Gerard on Patreon. Right on. He's a great guy. I love having Gerard on, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to our conversation. We'll be talking about anything he wants, so I always leave it up to the guest what we discuss. But what do you guys want to talk about? Is there anything else? I mean, there's a lot going on. Plenty of stuff to be upset, frustrated about. This is the night to tell me and get it out there. But I don't know. I do think, Paul's been telling me I need to polish up that resume. Even Sandy was saying it the other day. Maybe it's time to find out what else is available out there to a guy like me. Good-looking guy, good-looking, talented guy like me. What other avenues we could go down? As far as working goes, we all have to do that. Pay the light bill and stuff. So for the things we want to do, which is this. And one day this will be what pays the light bill. Until then, I don't know. Maybe Paul's right about that resume. I'm going to get to work on that. Polish that up. Because you do have to think about yourself and work on yourself. That's what we do on Tuesdays too. So come back any Tuesday. That's what we always try to do then. It's positivity. Because I agree with what Nora was saying too. That spiritual enlightenment will set you free. Becoming more spiritual and connecting with that. A lot of weird stuff that he's been showing. Yeah. Insects, etc. A lot of things. Shawn, they got all kinds of our equipment. Shawn said he's seen them rallying Humvees with M4s, all kinds of. We left him everything. Just invited him in probably too. Told him when we were leaving and where everything would be, and this is where the ammo stash is, and don't forget to look under here. And all by design. Shawn says some of the best flyers in the world come out of the Taliban. Did you not see how they hit the Pentagon? 330-degree descending corkscrew turn. Like 6 feet off the ground. Flat level with the ground. 500 miles an hour. Amazing. Can't be pulled off in a simulator by experienced pilots. It's funny because the dude couldn't even land. Didn't want to know how. He just flies. He's like a bird. Birds don't worry about how to land. He knew he would know how to do that instinctively. He need that information. He'll know how to fly. He's a flyer. And absolutely, Trudy, never settle. So, time to see what I can do with my talents and skills and see what they're worth out there in the market. Lee said, even Apache helicopters. You mean they couldn't fly them out of there? Yeah, there's no reason for this. And if you couldn't get your equipment out, if you absolutely couldn't, which I don't believe is the reason, why didn't you destroy it? Why didn't you leave it? Oh, so many other things you could have done with it. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody, and hanging out and having this conversation with me tonight. And please come back tomorrow and check out our conversation with Gerard. I'm excited for that, and I hope to see you guys here again for that. And check out the podcast version. If you ever want to listen to the show, maybe you got a long drive. It's on Spotify. I like to do that on my way to work. It's listen to it. And I think it's a little different because your imagination can run wild a little bit. Changes it a little. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you tomorrow night. Have a good night.